Greetings in the wonderful name of my beautiful Savior Jesus, and welcome to our Daniel and Revelation series. Without wasting any time, today we're going to be speaking about Revelation and just give you an overview of Revelation. Last week we were talking about Daniel 7, and today we're going to speak about Revelation. When you read Revelation 1 from verse 1 to 18, it is the past, the things which we have seen. And when you read Revelation 1 verse 30 to Revelation 3 verse 22, it is the present, the things which are as we speak. Revelation 4 verse 4 to chapter 22 is the future, which is the things which shall be. So the great revelation proper unfolds with the sound of the trumpet. A door is opened. This is Revelation 4. Is opened in heaven, and a voice says to John, "Come up hither, and I will show you the things which must be hereafter." What I want you to notice is that when John was writing from the beginning of Revelation up to chapter 3, verse 20, he's speaking to the things which are the present, but he was speaking about the things that were happening on earth. But now God is calling him up into heaven. He says, "Come," when you read in Revelation 4. For the first time, the throne of God becomes the view in Revelation 4, from verse 1 to 3. Revelation becomes the book of the throne. This is the great central fact that pervades the book. This throne speaks of judgment. The throne of grace is no longer seen. The scene is the courtroom, and the judge of all the earth is on the bench. The 24 elders, representing the 12 patriarchs of the Old Testament and the 12 apostles of the New Testament, they are the jury. This is Revelation 4 verse 4. The seven spirits of God, which is Revelation 4 verse 5 and Revelation 5 verse 6, are the persecutors, and the four living creatures are the court attendants, ready to carry out the will of the judge. The next importance to the Lamb is the sealed book. This is Revelation 5 verse 1. And the question arises, who can possibly open the book? Christ prevailed in the wilderness. After 40 days, he prevailed in Gethsemane. On Calvary, he prevailed. And when he dropped his divine head in his pulseless breast and said, "It is finished," on the third day he rose from the dead and conquered death, sin, and also he conquered the devil. This same Christ now claims the kingdom of the world by right conquest because he prevailed. And then when we read in chapter 6, the day of tribulation begins. This is the opening of the seals. At the opening of the seventh seal, the day of tribulation begins. This describes the great tribulation period, spoken by the prophet Jeremiah in Jeremiah 30 as the time of Israel's sorrow. Christ also referred to this as the great tribulation, such as never happened upon the earth. This is Matthew 24 verse 21, which we're still going to deal with in comparison with Revelation and also in comparison with Daniel. During the Great Tribulation, God will allow sin to work out from man and the beast. The earth will be filled with war and hunger and famine and pestilences. Judgment must come on those who rejected the Son of God and put him to an open shame. We as Christians can look for Christ, not calamity, because our Savior is coming to receive us to himself and frees us from this great tribulation. Now, I want us to also look in the four horsemen. The four horsemen, this is in Revelation 6, from verse 1 to 8. In the 6th chapter, we see 4 horsemen Restraint is removed as the seals are broken. When the seals are torn away, war and destruction are set loose. Man is reaping what he has sown to himself. The anguish and horror of the period will be the result of human ambition, hatred, and cruelty. Now, first, which is where I believe we are at, I'm going to try to be proving this throughout this series. First, we see the white horse of religious witnesses come before the final catastrophe upon the earth. This first horse, if we are at this first horse, it is the right time to start speaking about Jesus more, because it is the time to reap before the catastrophe. And then you'll have the second horse, which is the red horse. The second horse, which is the red horse. The red horse and the universal war will break upon the whole world when peace will be taken from the earth. And then there will be black horse of famine and scarcity that will follow upon the universal war. And lastly, you'll have the horse, the pale horse, which is the pestilence and death that comes forth with merciless strength. The sixth seal in chapter 6 from verse 12 to 17 brings social chaos, the complete breaking up of the society and all that we are boasting about. Darkness will fall from the sky, and actually darkness will be all over, and the falling stars from the sky, heavens roll up like a scroll. Then the most tragic prayer meeting upon the earth of the kings and the priests, the rich and the poor, fleeing from God's wrath in a general stampede, praying for death, for the great day of God's wrath is come. There is a moment of pause in chapter 7. While the saved of the tribulation period are presented, there are great multitudes with their garments washed and made white in the blood of the Lamb. The seal are the Israelites, and God is starting to gather, and actually has already long gathered them. If we be specific, from 1948. Great multitudes with their garments washed and made white in the blood of the Lamb. The seal are the Israelites, as I said, when we read in Hosea 1 verse 9 to 10. The great multitudes is from all the nations. This proves that the gospel that will be preached in the great tribulation period will be the most effective. But not only then, even now, because in the time where we are at, we are in the time where we are to reap more souls, because it is the time of the white horse, and which is the time of righteousness. Because after this, we have the red horse. There will be chaos, there will be wars, there will be bloodshed. But the time where we are at, it is a time to reap many souls. Let me wait right there for today, and I will go even deeper and be more specific maybe when we come back in the next lesson. God bless you.